Yo, nyame show bibiara said the biano only POG Media edijuma. POG Media no krenkwana yedemamo. Na yewra yesam no no J.Hughes and some be ababetuja. Wa warning a young Akuffo bebre abra obura a year some military information be no den some dodona yede atuja, especially for NPP home. Wa kan some dodona. Na before see about Akuffo, no subscribe, like it, and share the mouth for friends and can be kindly click on the notification bell so send a be the news to platform no so also well no the air call and the air but you no do now yanko near Akuffo against my J.Hughes editor.
Bismillahir Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? And yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runneth over, and surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. It's Friday, the 29th of August. Welcome to Johnny's Bite. And let me say thank you to Sonar Fashions in Tamale for my outfit 0246 590 162. That's 0246 590 162. Now, speaking of Sonar, I also have Onia and the GC brand Community League has been playing for some time now. The grand finale is happening this Sunday. Well, the grand finale of the Onia local league is happening this Sunday. 2025 winners will get this coveted cap, immaculately configured coveted cap. Efo Kwame Jakbaso and his team, Carl, and the rest of the team, all of them will be there. It will be at the Bawe for instant gift for first 200 persons to enter the Bawe H0t this Sunday. You get a special gift, but this is going to happen on the 31st, right? And you have to be there. The grand finale fixtures, Awoshi will face Adenta, Okankwe North will face Ajirigano, Ashaman Revelations will face Latin Quantanan, Kolegono will face Tema Community 2. And it's happening at the Bawe H0t, 9 a.m. sharp. You've got to be there. And this is the coveted. Look at how beautiful it is. You have to be there to support your own and be there or be squared. Thank you very much indeed. Now, let's begin the conversation. My very good friend, Mr. Richard Ahiagba, who speaks on behalf of the New Patriotic Party, yesterday, after Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia submitted his nomination forms to indicate that he wants to be president of the Republic come 2028 elections and on into 2029, made some comments afterwards and to suggest the fact that the military should ward off and that any military man seen in Akwetia during the by-elections that will happen hopefully sometime next week will be treated, if you will, as persona non grata. And I shook my head in disbelief. You know why? I shook my head in disbelief because my very good friend Richard Ahiagba was part of the government that just went out of power. And it took only 8 months for him to know that the use of the military is so wrong. I'm saying again that Mr. Richard Ahiagba is my friend. And I was shocked, and I would disagree with him with basis and facts and figures. I was shocked that he could say that publicly because he was part of a government that made sure that throughout their tenure, the president of the Republic, who is considered a general because he's the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, had another general following him, a brigadier general. They start off as colonels, but when they are promoted to the ranks of generals, they still stay behind him. I spoke about it. I know friends in the military who were not happy about it. I know people at the top who were not happy about it. But the president insisted and he did it twice. In fact, the second general who followed him had occasion to fall down in parliament. And it was a mark of shame on our army, on our Ghana Armed Forces. He was in full regalia with a sword by his side. He fell down on national television and international television for that matter. Did Mr. Richard Ahiagba find anything wrong with it? That was an abuse of the military. Did he say anything about it? In 2020, towards the run-up of the 2020 elections, when we were trying to compile a new register across the country, under the guise of COVID restrictions, when we had actually lifted the ban on many other things, we refused to allow people to come through the borders, and we used the military. You remember that Edem Agbana and many other people, they were abused. Did he find anything wrong? Did he find his voice? Did he say anything about it? We were in this country where military men were made to carry handbags of people and follow them around. The first lady of the republic at the time, for example, she's not supposed to get a military guard. Hello? Did Mr. Richard Ahagba talk about it? See, there's a structured way in which things are done. Military men were made to pound fufu. They were made to hold, push trolley carts in supermarkets to follow Fianga girls, Sisifian people. What did he say about it? Military men were guarding people left, right, center, who didn't deserve to be guarded by the military when the police existed. What did he say about it? In election security task force, the military is always called in when the need be. And so must it be. He ought to know that if the intention is to foment trouble there, the military, yes, will be there to ensure that there's peace and tranquility, to support the police. Were we not in this country when there was some mayhem in Ejura? Simon Osei Mensah, then Ashanti regional minister, said that he was the one who called the military to come there. Were lives not lost? Was he sacked? Was Simon Osei sacked from office? What did Mr. Richard Ahagba say? Did he find his courage and his voice? We were in this country, 4BN. The conversation about Commander Red, the military know what I'm talking about. There were about 90 lieutenant colonels in waiting. A major was promoted over and above them. Some say because he was the brother of the former deputy attorney general, etc. I don't know. Did he talk about it? I can go on and on and on and on, but it's not necessary. So my good friend, Mr. Richard Ahagba, this is not now the time for you to find your voice and be issuing threats. In opposition, you don't give instructions. In opposition, you support the system to run. You don't give instructions. Maybe you have forgotten that you are no longer in power. You can't be in opposition and be ordering the government around. No. The government is for the people, and what the people want, where the people want to go, why they want things done in a particular way, where they want it done, etc. That is what the government will do. So please bear that in mind. Now let's begin from the quarters of the Small Arms and Weapons, Light Weapons Commission. 6, Small Arms and Light Weapons Commission. And I've spoken about this so many times. Yesterday I was talking to Dr. Addo, and I told him that it's becoming, more like a broken plate and a broken record. Because I've spoken about that so many times. I come from a royal family on both sides of whether on my father's side in Kwe, or whether on my father's side, or whether on my mother's side in Asren, or whether you go to Konkunuru. I come from royalty. And I am royalty presently, by the kind courtesy of the Yana himself, and my chief of Bogu. Now, I have bemoaned the situation where we have live weapons in the hands of civilians, most of the time not registered. And we're seeing the number of lives that we are losing because of that. And I have cried about it so many times. And the chiefs and elders endorse it for their people, the people who follow them, to have those things. In the past, it used to be musketry with gunpowder. So what happened? What changed? Where from this insanity of people wielding guns and firing at will? Where from it? I was just checking my records and I realized that the last time we did a baseline survey for the national security document was in 2014. Remind me of the year this year. It's 2025, right? 2014 to 2025 is how many years? Now let's read. NACSA calls for traditional authorities to ban the use of firearms in traditional celebrations and festivities. The National Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons, NACSA, has learned with deep concern of the violent clashes that occurred during the Kpokpoi sprinkling ceremony at Teshi on Wednesday, August 27, 2025, which tragically resulted in the lives of 3, now we are learning, and left several others injured. The Commission extends its condolences to the bereaved families and the constituents of the Teshi traditional area and wishes the injured a speedy recovery. This incident is yet another painful reminder of the recent loss of lives and injuries during similar celebrations, including the death of a Queen Mother who was shot accidentally at her installation ceremony and the near loss of sight of a seasoned journalist during the celebration of a traditional festival. NACSA strongly condemns the display and misuse of firearms, which has become one too many in social and public gatherings, as well as traditional celebrations. By this press release, the Commission is respectfully calling on all traditional leaders to immediately place a ban on the display and use of firearms in this year's celebrations and festivities to prevent injuries and the loss of innocent lives, bearing in mind that a firearm can accidentally take away the life of anything, including our chiefs. While NACSA has proposed an arms bill, which has been submitted to the Honorable Minister for Interior, and when passed into law, would strengthen regulations to better monitor and control the use of firearms during traditional festivities or festivals, an immediate ban remains urgently necessary.
Yo, Medawasi, say Uguswa Ushajmadi, Yankopon Shan, on Sarashim, no on Yaukasi, or family, no, a J.Hughes to us who adding some Dronai day at Uja. But subscribe like a Jumadi and share them out for friends and can be kindly click on the notification button to send a bear. Yet the any news be at a platform, so I want so what who the echo and the but Jumadi and very interactive thing to know. Or join channel and fan come if I share under the comments section. If I may send a bear Jumadi and bear for Nakoso 101. Yanko na Ikukuti a your family.
To protect communities and prevent needless loss of lives while maintaining the sanity and joy associated with such celebrations. As part of its mandate, NACSA will continue to collaborate with traditional leaders, communities, civil society organizations, and security agencies to raise awareness of the dangers of firearms misuse while advancing efforts to strengthen national regulation in line with international best practices. The Commission calls on all citizens to respect the sanity of life and embrace non-violent means of resolving disputes. Together, we can build safer communities and protect Ghana's rich cultural heritage from being overshadowed by gun violence. Dr. Adam A.A. Bonner, Executive Secretary. And I remember when Mr. Hackman Oswajiman, yes, I remember that. I was a boy. We did a play at the National Theatre where a campaign under President Akuffo, I remember this so well, where a campaign was, started for people who had guns that had not been licensed to bring their guns, and submit them. And they had many people submit them. But fast forward to that time, and beyond that time, we have allowed, and there are too many unregistered guns in the system these days. People see it as a status symbol. At the least provocation, people pick out their guns and they start firing at will in the air. We see them. So I understand that the Minister for Interior has given a 3-month amnesty. The Minister for the Interior has given a 3-month amnesty. First, he come to me. And the 3-month amnesty that has been granted by the Minister for Interior will only prevail for the chiefs and the elders and their safu and all those people to gather themselves to bring the weapons that they have, submit them. Beyond the 3 months, Wara ujijiriji, as they say in the barracks. Beyond the 3 months, Warankasa ujijiriji. Beyond the 3 months, Warankasa ujijiriji. Now take me to the regional directorate, the regional minister's press conference yesterday. Yesterday she had occasion to meet the MMDCs, and she was very, very frank. One of the things that she said that struck a chord was that the MMDCs are turning their offices into party meeting grounds. There's a thin line between partisanship and governance. I agree. But where partisanship now takes over governance and governance is not seen to be thriving, it's a problem. And the minister raised the question so well. The foot soldiers may not be happy about it, yes, but she made a very bold statement and I support her for that. Point number 2. She also mentioned the fact that the appointees should be learning from Madam Victoria Hammer or Miss Victoria Hammer. You know why? Because Victoria Hammer, who had desired to have a certain amount of money while she was deputy minister, was recorded by none other than her driver. And she says that these MMDCs are taking delight in having PAs and showing that I'm a big boy, I'm a big girl. You will be recorded. Don't come and be crying. But let's listen to the Minister 6, please.
In conclusion, let me remind all chief executives here, your performance will be based on 3 clear areas: sanitation, street lights, and enforcement of bylaws. This will be documented in my report to the Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, and forwarded to the Presidency. To the general public, I call on all residents to report 40 street lights for quick action. Take responsibility for sanitation and avoid indiscriminate dumping. Stop mounting unauthorized billboards and assist security agencies in protecting the public infrastructure. I also wish to sound a caution to persons who steal metal and covers and sell them to scrap dealers. Please, you are warned to desist from this act. Anyone caught will be severely punished and dealt with by the law. The people of this region are tired of words. They want results, and they want them now. Thank you for your attention.
Sanitation, street lights, and enforcement of the bylaws. First, find me that dash cam video. But first 6, the Tesano police station area. The Tesano, not the police station, the police depot. Sanitation is there. Is there in the footer. Sanitation, street lights, and enforcement of the bylaws. I've spoken about the fact that Accra is so dirty. From north to the south, to the east, to the west, Accra is so dirty. And I don't understand why the MMDCs want to wait for a company or an organization to come and clean before they move to clean. You receive your monies, right? It's talking about street lights. This is in front of the police depot. Traffic lights are not functional, and you can count the number of accidents that happen there. The street lights are not working. Look, if you like, start from 37, go through Medina, go all the way. If you like, start from Malam, come, look, it's bazaar. And what's even more painful, first, if I'm in that dash cam, what's even more painful is the fact that the road markings are also not functional. Road markings, they are not clear enough. It's dangerous. First, you go into yesterday's folder, the dash cam. You go in there and you ask yourself, is this the same Accra that we know? And I'm sure that the situation is not just Accra. It cuts across many different regions. So what are we doing? To be an MCE or DCE is not to be there because of whatever. Yesterday, the Accra Mayor, he sounded a note of caution. He said that, look, we came to you earlier, my choice, okay, please go back. Going forward, the red line policy will be strictly applied. And that is what we expect. Now, this is the, Sakaman stretch all the way. There are no street lights. The road markings are faint. There are no reflectors. And this is a major, major, major road. This connects straight onto the N1. Major, 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 major road. Godwin, thank you very much, my brother. Look at it. There are no road markings. So you are driving, you are your own light, you are your own guide, you are your own marker, you are your own reflector, you are your own everything. Why won't accidents happen? Why won't accidents happen? So, Madam Minister, thank you very, very much, Dendoklu. Sanitation, street lights, enforcement of the bylaws. And enforcement of the bylaws include, people put containers everywhere. People build anyhow. People block the streets anyhow just to organize a jekpo, a feyala, ye budding. It's just haphazardly, everybody's doing anything. And it appears that the assemblies go to sleep on Saturdays and Sundays. My understanding of a 24-hour economy, it means that the assemblies cannot go to sleep on Saturdays and Sundays. So no. Because their arms are not dislocated, nor do they have fracture. They are in very good position. They are not in an atasa position. So let us feel that you are at work. Tomorrow, Saturday, if you like, go around town. You will see how people have blocked roads without permission, and they are inconveniencing people left, right, center, and will be tied to you if you speak up. You will be a subject of whatever. Why do we do that to ourselves? So I'm happy that the minister is waking up, smelling the coffee, and making people smell the coffee. But the minister, one last thing. If you have an MCE or a DC in the Greater Accra region who fails to act the way they have to act, sack them. Here ends my sermon. Have a good weekend.
Aha and the Jumadino ABC and them on POG Media. You know, subscribe, like Jumadino, share them our friends and can be kindly click on the notification bell. This is the news be out of platforms and so on. Also, one who the echo and the air, but Jumadino, you want to be the other stories and everybody. Yanko.